Salutations, specters and spectresses, and welcome to the beginning of the annual ATT Spooktober Spectacular. You know what they say, you can't keep a good ghoul down. This year, we begin our eerie event with a trip to the land of baleful banshees and dour dullahans, Ireland. Built upon what may have been an ancient druid ceremonial site is a castle with a wretched reputation. Tales point to the horrid history of violence and superior amount of suffering that took place within the dark rooms of this frightening fortress as to why it has earned the title of World's Most Haunted Castle. A place where murder and torture were a matter of course for the cruel O'Carroll clan. This case file joined the Fearists as they fumble through tales of fratricide, dinners to die for, and supernatural summonings within the stony walls of Lep Castle.
Welcome to Alien Theorist Theorizing, Case File 253, Lep Castle.
Nailed it.
I'm Braden.
I'm Dan. I'm Andrew.
No Zell this week. He's dead.
Died. Stake through the heart. Got too much sun. Got too much sun.
I think he's gone back to Romania or wherever for the vampire conference or whatever they do. Transylvania.
He's got to recharge.
Yeah.
Staying at the Hotel Transylvania.
So, yeah, he's gone. I will say the tech issues, every single time doing a live stream, when he's not here, I get on early because they're stressful to set up. And I set it all up. Literally 2 minutes before we're about to go live, whole computer froze, epic shutdown. Back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you created that fucking cry filter organically there. No need. Just full fucking tears.
Oh yeah. When I turned my computer back on and it wasn't registering my audio box, I was like, that's cool.
I haven't seen that look.
That's new.
I haven't seen that look since you shit your pants at the Sky Train, buddy.
Yeah.
Really.
I was like, we ain't got time for this computer. So I did the old where you just completely unplug it from the wall.
I'll show you.
And you're like, how do you like them apples?
Turn it off and back on again. That's OG fucking.
I let it know. I said, listen,
bud.
I said,
you gotta be really forceful when you hit the button.
Oh yeah. I
jam
did.
it in there.
I said, hey, listen, I turned you on and I can turn you off.
It something tells you you're good at that, hey?
Yeah, that's what she did. Yeah. My girlfriend knows all about that. Anyways, this is, if you're listening to this is the start of Spooktober.
Spooky season, spookies.
Which is awesome because that means we got a wicked dead intro ahead of this in a creepy Crypt Creeper voice. But this time we're going over going over the pond.
Again.
As we do from time to time. Occasionally. And this is a phrase that we don't use often that I'm going to use. We're going to talk about one of the most haunted places.
We've never said that ever. We've absolutely never said that.
This is the first time thing here. So it's legit.
First time we've ever said it.
It's legit.
And that is, of course, Lep Castle. Now, how old this castle is, first off, you hear 15th century, 13th century, 500 AD, 800 AD.
Late 12th.
This fuck castle's
Late
old.
12th.
I heard it was it was built upon an area where druids used to come and do their whatever druids.
Sacrifice
what did druids do? Shapeshift? They shapeshift?
Chant.
Yeah. Werebears.
Right? Werebears and
wild form.
And, yeah. So they just built this castle on this old druid prayer location.
Basically like building on an old Indian burial ground. Like just almost just
if you don't have Native American burial ground, druids will do it.
Druids. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I've instantly found is like the trying to date this castle. You're like, well, even the new, like the most recent owners who currently own it are like, you know, in like 3 different pages say 2 different things, right?
Right. It is the exact date of when the castle was built is not 100% sure. Yeah, the histories are a little bit murky on when it was exactly built, and how long the area has been.
Did you say they're a little bit murky?
Murky.
Yeah, that's a good one.
A little bit murky.
It's all good. Tomato. It's all water under the fridge.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And as far as human habitation, or people have been there, so it could have been 500 AD. Perhaps I think they found evidence of there being human habitation, or even religious practices being performed.
And by habitations, I think you mean remains.
Yes. We'll get to that. And so, but I think most historians agree that it was between the 13th and the 15th century, but probably somewhere in the middle. I think they said like 1450 or something is probably when it was built by the O'Bannon clan. So the O'Bannon clan were actually, I guess they were pretty influential.
Very wealthy.
Influential.
Big time. Big time.
They got all the doubloons.
Big name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Irish doubloons. Yeah.
I don't know.
Whatever currency they were using in 15th century Ireland. And so
pots of gold.
And so I guess the O'Bannons were also, even though that they were influential, they were actually kind of underneath the aegis of the O'Carroll clan.
Everyone, that's
buddy.
Known.
Listen, before O'Doyle's rule, it was O'Carroll's rule.
Yeah. O'Carroll's rule. Yeah, the fucking O'Bannons don't hold a fucking candle to the O'Carroll clan.
Boys, can I spin you a little bit of yarn about the O'Bannons?
Yeah. Sure.
Can I tell you a tale?
O'Carrolls.
Let me tell you a tale. Huh?
Tell us a tall tale.
All right. So in my tale, it actually was built in the 12th century. So just switch it up on you boys a little bit. So the castle was built by the wealthy O'Bannon family somewhere between the late 12th century and the 15th century.
Yep.
So likely 1250, but
somewhere in there.
Before it was actually built, 2 of the O'Bannon brothers were constantly at odds with each other and were set to inherit their father's riches and control over the castle. According to the legend...
this sounds like the Renner family.
Wow, the older one would just be bending over and presenting ass, basically, if this is the Renner family, but that's fine. Anyways, so they're constantly at odds with each other, trying to inherit the father's riches, which included the castle. According to the legend, they proposed a competition. Each brother would both jump off a huge rock located on the site of the future castle. The one who lived would get control over the building and get to specify what they did with the castle and the family and the clan. While the winner of the deadly competition, it was never really specified, is now lost to time. Yeah. It likely explains why the castle was originally known as O'Bannon's Leap.
It is fairly known in like the Gaelic language that it is
like listen language. Okay, boys, why we got to do something to death here? Like what? Relax. You guys know how to play fucking.
No. It's a clever plan. It's a clever plan
because the first guy dies.
You flip a coin to see who goes first, and then you just say, "Okay, I'm done."
Listen, you can't play fucking rock paper shillelaghs or something like that. Like, fuck, come on, this is aggressive.
See, I didn't even think for a second that they took turns. I thought it was like the fucking.
Oh, they go at the same time.
Well,
they run off. Right?
Thelma and Louise, just both of them jump off the rock. Yeah, right. Fucking aim for the bushes.
But I think, aim for the bushes. This story alone, I think
this is why Braden would be the first brother jumping.
No, he convinced Scotty to jump for sure. Scotty would have jumped within minutes of Braden fucking convincing him.
Head first.
You're not man enough. You can't fucking do it.
The worst part is Scotty would have got up.
Yeah, 100%. He would have won.
Right. And then I'm like, oh shit. But I like listening to this story about these two idiots jump off a rock. You can understand why the O'Carroll clan was just such a better clan than the O'Bannons. Like these guys were morons. Right. I bet the whole town came and watched the LEP.
So yeah, the O'Bannons held the castle. Like they originally built it and whatever, and then one day the O'Carrolls said like, you know what, we're gonna take it. This is gonna be ours now. Essentially, is how the story goes. And
yeah, I think it went basically after both heirs to the castle died from a fall.
Could you imagine though? Like these guys are completely at odds and they're fucking beefing. They're like, we don't know, we're never gonna solve this problem. And then some O'Carroll walks up and be like, well, why don't you guys fucking have a little competition? All right, why don't you guys jump off this fucking rock and whoever survives fucking gets a castle.
Genius.
They're like, that's how we settle our qualms.
Yeah, right? You guys probably
we just had a good rock jumping last week, man.
Yeah,
like,
you guys probably aren't interested in it. It's fine. You guys aren't interested. You're not man enough. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
And funny story, we're gonna write that into Big Theory contract that when we're in disagreement, it comes down to a rock jump.
Yeah. Oh shit. Good old fashioned rock jump.
Right.
So in 1513, there is a recorded attempt for the Earl of Kildare, who tried to seize this castle, since the castle was a rather desirable place to have. To
be honest though, Dan, to be honest, I think any structure already built.
Tell us honestly.
Any structure already built in this time is desirable. You know what I mean? Like it takes so long. You gotta the amount of money you're gonna have to spend.
About all the potatoes
you're gonna have to get outside right? You're gonna have to bring in outside contractors. Like this is gonna be. You want to build anything? This is going to be decades. You know what I mean? Like you're going to be building for a long time. So yeah, of course, this is a desirable location. It's already built.
Yes, it was already built, but then it was partially demolished during that siege. After I guess about 3 years later, they had another attempt by the Earl of Kildare to take it, and then. After that in 1557, about 60 years later, you had or 40, was that 40 years? For like 40 years later, you had the O'Carrolls coming back and being like, okay, this is ours again. And they regained possession of Lep Castle and then turned it into their principal stronghold.
Well, again, even a partly demolished castle, I would say is going to be worth more than just barren land, because you're like, well, we can at least build that back up. Like it's partly done.
So now the O'Carroll clan is known for being quite
ruthless,
violent, and deadly. That is their main claim to fame, apparently, around these parts. And
they fucking tricked the O'Bannons to jump head first off a rock.
That's hearsay by you.
Still heard it.
So when Mulrooney O'Carroll died, who was the clan chieftain, his two sons, Thaddeus and Teague, both started a pretty, by all accounts, bitter battle for who would take over as clan chieftain. And so this is where you get the first type of event that would probably, you'd be like, if a place was haunted, this is something that would definitely have triggered that.
Lots of paranormal activation from this event.
So as the story goes, Teague stormed into the family chapel, as most castles during that time had. They had like a small chapel. It was usually used for like family services. You come in and have a priest or whatever. It just so happened that Thaddeus was a priest, ordained priest, and he was giving a sermon to the rest of the family while Teague pretty much just like
a fucking kiss ass. What a kiss ass.
Yeah. Teague apparently stormed up to the pulpit where Thaddeus was giving his thing, drew his sword, and stabbed him through the stomach.
Jesus.
Rammed the sword straight through his stomach, and then left Thaddeus bleeding there on the thing in front of the entire family.
Fucking history book written by George R.R. Martin, for fuck's sake. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I was thinking.
The Red Sermon.
Much like, the Game of Thrones books are pretty much based off of all
Go into the chapel, gonna stab my brother.
Stab my fucking brother.
Gonna be king.
I wish I could say that some of this stuff is like uncommon, but it's not. If you go back to some of these history books, like this shit is fucking It's wild.
We all know now that the history books are all bound in human flesh. It's crazy how bad it was back then. But Teague, like, what a bold move, because
stabbing your brother in front of your family. Let's see how it works out.
That's got
in front of everyone that you're like, well, obviously I won, because they're like, yeah, but you stabbed him. He's like, yeah, but I win.
But you're letting everybody fucking know. The whole family, anybody's going to come for the throne. Like, listen, I'll fucking stab every single one of you motherfuckers.
I feel like the rest of the family was just like, oh, that's just boys being boys.
Yeah.
Boys will be boys.
That is a fucking paranormal soup right there, though. Like, that's ready to boil. Right?
Yeah.
Your brother's a holy man in the middle of a sermon, and you stab him in the gut. Like, you couldn't do it quick. That's a slow death, boys. Yeah. That is a slow death.
Fratricide in a holy place.
Bowel, fucking.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bled out right there. By accounts, he died of his wounds soon after, and then the chapel became known as the Bloody Chapel, as it is referred to this day. So the O'Carrolls, their infamy wouldn't stop there. Apparently, they invited another clan known as the McMahon clan to a feast at Leap Castle. Now, this feast was apparently held as a thank you for the McMahons, because they had hired the McMahons in order to teach their soldiers a new way of fighting or some new tactics, and then they use them against it in a battle with another rival clan.
Well, and then part of the reason they like kind of invited the McMahons is because the McMahons had already like beat one of the rival clans of the O'Carrolls in war. So they were kind of like, the enemy of thy enemy is my friend in this situation. They're like, hey, you beat our bitter rivals. Let's invite you over, right? Like, bring you in tight because now we're good old buddies, and let's have a grand old feast.
Right, and they had actually like hired like 40 members of the McMahon clan to train them in the new techniques that they had used to defeat this other clan. And so they had brought them over to have the feast to thank them.
You know what their technique was? Shooting lightning bolts out of their fucking asses.
Right, and fireballs out of their asses.
Yeah, like that's it.
So when they brought them over, and they were going to, the plan was, have the feast, and then they would kind of leave with their payment of what they owed them for training them and whatever. And their payment would be poison, because the Carrolls poisoned the entire McMahon clan to a member, wiping them out entirely in this one feast.
Like, what, did they just not want to pay them for their services? Like, why?
They just didn't want in order to avoid paying them, they just poisoned the whole clan.
Now it's crazy, because I'm like, I would think if you're gonna invite, like, what's it, host rights? What if it is?
Homesteaders.
It's like, what's it? What's it when you're supposed to be a host? And you're hosting.
Isn't that what it is? Homesteaders rights?
I don't know.
No, homesteaders are the people who like move.
I don't know.
Across
the place. But you know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about, Dan? It's like
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, like right? I know.
And you invite someone into your home.
Yeah, this guy gutted his brother in front of his fucking mom and grandma.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I don't know a lot about karma, but I would guess that murdering an entire 40-member family all in one sitting is going to bring about some bad karma. Not even just 40
members. It was like the whole clan. Like, those 40 members are just the ones they hired. Like, everybody. They just poisoned everybody, apparently. They all died.
Maybe the salmon was just
Goodbye, McMahon's. Just a little old.
Some bad food poisoning.
Yeah.
So the castle would be passed on throughout the Carroll line, father to son, and so on and so on. But until you would have the next owners of Leap Castle would be the Darby family. And
got another tale for you, boys.
The Darby.
Got another tale for you.
Do you?
Oh yeah, I got another tale for you. Yeah.
Yeah, does this one start in the 13th century?
No, this one's a little later. Dan, you can come in with facts after I fucking spin a little yarn for you here.
Sure.
So, tale goes, an O'Carroll daughter fell in love with an English prisoner, Darby, and she would sneak him food while they plotted a way to run away together and get married. When she let him out, Darby ended up fighting one of O'Carroll's sons in the stairwell and killed him. The O'Carroll daughter became the only heiress to the castle, meaning that English Darby would inherit the castle too. That's the tale.
That's the tale.
That's the tale.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's like, yeah, she fell in love. He killed the one son, and now
Do you want to hear more?
I'm sure,
There's more to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Although the couple soon owned Lep Castle outright, Darby began to slowly lose his grip on sanity. He began to obsessively focus on his money, going so far as to hide it throughout the castle. He then forgot where he hid it and wasn't able to stop searching for the money and it wanted so desperately. His ghost is said to be seen around the castle still looking for his riches. Which is not wrong. Like his nickname was like the Mad Captain, right?
Yeah, if you're talking about warrior. If you're talking about Jonathan Darby.
Yeah, he's like a fucking pirate.
So, well, he wasn't the first one to have the castle. There was like 3 before him. Like it was like his great grandfather, I think. Or just
it's not how the tale goes, Dan.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
So like they'd be in possession of the castle until it was taken over by Jonathan Darby, I guess, who is he's actually during the Cromwells, like pretty much like the reconquest of Northern Ireland.
The fucking witches from Scooby-Doo in the witch fucking movie? Dude, I remember those. We're the Hex Girls and we're gonna put a spell on you. It's a good one.
No, it's like the Cromwell, Oliver Cromwell, who headed up an army from England to take over Northern Ireland. And from all accounts, most of that is pretty brutal.
I'd rather deal with fucking him than the Hex Girls, bud. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
So Jonathan Darby II would marry Mildred, Mildred. And so Mildred Darby, his wife, apparently had a pretty big interest in the paranormal. Is
just the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
That Mildred was invested in the paranormal?
Well, of course you are. You're living in a fucking haunted castle.
I mean, it was also it was also popular around this time. Like,
of course, you're like interested in it because you're being haunted day and night.
Yeah, you're interested as far as like, why the fuck is this happening to me?
Yeah, why? I need to figure out what is going on with me and how come I keep waking up screaming in pain, covered in sweat every night, and I wake up in a different room. Yes.
How come when I open these doors, nothing but blood shoots out? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
there's red rum written everywhere.
You call that like, interested?
Doesn't make sense.
Interest in the paranormal was not unusual around this time. It was a very popular thing to kind of do this, and apparently, she would hold seances in the castle.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
She was very interested in apparently a couple of these gatherings. She would do they do what they called automatic writing, which is essentially it's either
ghost book.
I mean, yeah, you can do a ghost book, or you can do it like by holding the pencil and just letting let the spirits guide you. Or I think a Ouija board technically counts as automatic writing as well as in there. So some of that stuff. Mildred was also a published Gothic horror writer. So she did write stories about.
She just was writing her firsthand accounts of living in the castle.
Yes. And so Lep Castle would go on and become a target for the IRA during Ireland's fight for independence in 1922. And that's when Jonathan Darby, when they were forced to flee the castle, this is where you get the story of him actually hiding his treasure. And he was said to have.
Well, I get it. You guys fucking English dudes hanging out in a castle in Ireland. We could get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, pretty much. That would be the sentiment that you could kind of inject in there. And in order to keep the secret of where he hid his treasures, it said that he had killed the 2 men that had helped him bury it. So very Treasure Island, very Treasure
Classic.
Island.
Yeah.
And also around this time in 1922,
that's why I refuse to help anyone move.
Well, you should also help. I guess this would also be a reason too. So, because apparently in 1922, a workman who was like working on some renovations for the castle or digging around in the castle made an actual discovery that there was actually that no one really knew that there was a secret hidden dungeon behind a wall in the Bloody Chapel that nobody knew about until 1922. And in the floor of the Bloody Chapel, they found what is known as an oubliette. Now, An oubliette, if you're not familiar with the term, is a type of dungeon. And you can kind of refer to it, but it's a specific type of dungeon. It's the dungeon that it's kind of like the dungeon beneath dungeons, because this is the place that it is from the French word oublier, which means to forget.
Yep.
And so you would toss people down in here, and it was usually a dungeon that had like the grating or the trap door where you would put them in was at the top. So there's no way to get out. Once you put them down in there, they're not coming out.
Yeah, and you just leave them.
Yeah, you just leave them in there. You no food,
just forget about
no water. You just
and
forget
just let them die.
You guys want another tale?
Yeah,
Sure. Want to tell you another tale?
Yes. Yeah. Tell us another.
I'll tell you a tale, bae. You want a tale, bae? So like Dan was saying, I was going to talk a little bit of the French word to forget so I could sound all like, but fucking ruined. Whatever, it's fine. So the entrance to the chamber is a narrow hole originally fitted to form a trap door. So like Dan was saying, it's a fucking trap door. That's terrifying. It's like Mr. Burns.
Yeah.
Mr. Burns has an oubliette.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, he does.
So like we've talked about before, the O'Carrolls were said to be an extremely cunning and brutal clan, stopping at nothing to achieve domination. Legends tell of several occasions where the O'Carrolls would employ other clans as mercenaries to kill off nearby threats. Upon completion of the job, the mercenaries were invited back to Lep Castle for a celebratory feast. Unfortunately for the mercenaries, their feast was poisoned and their throats were cut.
We just told them.
Yeah, I know, but I'm going to tell you about their corpses were then thrown into the oubliette. 39 of the O'Neill clan are said to be disposed of in that fashion. In 1599, another deadly deed occurred at Lep Castle. Charles O'Carroll, the last chieftain at Lep, was at war with the Earl of Tyrone and hired the McMahon clan from Monaghan as mercenaries. As they fought for him, the O'Carrolls held a feast, like we talked about earlier, and murdered them in their sleep. The McMahon clan are said to be all tossed into the oubliette, where they still
like all their bodies were just chucked.
And
in
apparently, so they have those spikes in the oubliette. And apparently, if you didn't get killed by the spikes, you would just be down there and starve to death. And there was a little window that they would all watch, like people feast and hang out and have a good time as they starve to death.
Yeah, there were wooden. Yeah, they found these wooden spikes down there, and they found corpses in there. And apparently, it took 3 cartloads to actually take out to remove the human bones and skeletons that were in that oubliette when they found it. 3 cartloads.
It's of the bones, because it makes me think like at one point when they tossed like the last guy that the O'Carrolls tossed into the oubliette just kind of like fell and was just like laying on the top being like, what the fuck, guys? Like, why am I laying on all these dead bodies? Like, what's going on here? Well, this is weird.
Well, it got to a point where they could just climb out.
This is fucked.
I mean, they said that they found, like, among the remains of the people, they found a pocket watch there that they dated to the mid 1800s. So that oubliette had been in use for at least that recently.
That's fucked.
But now, just to go back a little bit, we talked about like Mildred Darby and her interest in the paranormal, running seances. Some people said that she was like really into an occult practices. And actually, we're going to talk about all the ghosts that are said to are haunting this area. But one of the ghosts that haunt Lep Castle is actually attributed to her practicing the occult.
She woke him up.
Part of me wonders, they say like, with the Ouija board and stuff, if you leave it open, you don't close it properly, right? You can let stuff through. Part of me always kind of wondered when I was looking into this is that I wonder if Mildred Darby was experimenting and interested in this stuff because she was trying to figure out a way to get the shit to stop.
But in turn, she just opened the door.
The shit she was seeing and other stuff going on in the house. She's like trying to get it to stop, to either release the spirit or whatever. And just through incompetence, she just made it worse.
Or she wanted to write more books.
She needed more material.
Yeah, she needed more material to write her books.
Yeah.
So the castle after the Irish Civil War pretty much was a bombed out, burned out husk of what it had been. And it fell into complete disrepair and then pretty much remained empty until the 1970s when an actual ancestor of the original O'Bannons, Peter Bartlett, purchased it and led for the restoration, most of the restoration of the castle. Unfortunately, I think he died before they could complete it, or just after they had completed it. And then the castle ended up being purchased by the current owners who have it. But yeah, like Braden said, now that you know a little bit of the history of Lep Castle, you'll understand that perhaps the title for most haunted castle in the world is well earned after we refill our drinks.
Oh yeah, let's get a quick beer break and then we'll go through the what kind of ghosts and some other fun facts about Lep Castle. We'll be right back. We're back.
We're back for more Spooktober spookings with the ghosts of Lep Castle. Now that you know that the bloody past of the O'Carroll and the O'Bannon clans have brought about what is known as the most haunted castle in the world. I'm still because we talked about this. I talked about this one time. I think we've only talked about one place that has actually been certified by a group that does ratings on haunted places. I think we've only done one. And I can't remember which one it was.
Lep Castle. Haunted place on Earth. Dude, we just talked about it. We said it's the most haunted place on Earth. So obviously it has to be.
A lot
has to be, Dan.
Right.
But listen, we should verify these things.
Listen, do any of you guys you think of a castle, obviously a castle has to be paranormally activated. Just has to. Even without all the fucking O'Carroll murders. You just assume
have we talked about other castles? There's a lot of castles. Have we talked about other castles?
Yeah, they all have to be. I can't imagine there not being a nearly headless Nick roaming the halls of any castle.
There are some castles that are not haunted.
No way. No dice. Don't believe it. Not for a second. How old are these castles, man? They got to be haunted. Some bad shit's happened there. For sure. Same with insane asylums. Both of them. Castles and insane asylums. Every time. Haunted. 99.9% of the time. Works every time.
Yeah. So, of the ghosts that haunt Lep Castle, you have a couple of them now. Naturally, of course, you have the spirit of the murdered O'Carroll priest. Apparently haunts the Bloody Chapel.
Thaddeus.
People have said that Thad.
They call him. I heard they call him Thaddy the Baddie.
Thaddy the Baddie. Yeah, that makes sense.
That totally made that up.
And you have the
gotcha, Dan. You agreed to a made-up fact. Gotcha.
So yeah, people have reported actually seeing a hooded figure and sometimes an unhooded figure, which they identify as a monk of some type or a priest of some type with a tonsure on his head. Not really.
Are we sure these are the same entities though? It's like one of them's got a hood, one of them doesn't.
Well, I mean,
maybe it's two different ones.
Yeah, he's just like, sometimes he's a little hot and he's just got to put his hood, and sometimes it's cold.
No, but that's his thing. Like he's gonna spook. He's got to have his look. Got to look the same. Continuity.
he's gonna spook.
Yeah, he's gonna go spook.
He's got to have his look. Yeah,
gonna go spooking.
If the hood's up, you're in trouble.
Absolutely.
Also in the main hall, there is telltale of two spirits of young girls that seem to wander in and out.
The young girls, Emily and Charlotte, as they go by. And Emily died at age 11 when she fell from the battlements. Many people see her ghost falling from the castle, and then it disappears right before it hits the ground.
Sure. So we're talking like
Charlotte,
we're talking like OG fucking Bran Stark here.
Yeah,
perhaps.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
Except,
it's just kids being dumb because it's like, like.
It does make sense. Kids are never dumb.
Kids are never dumb. Kids are never. You're never constant. You've never tried to stop your kid from
climbing
jumping
a castle. Saw us as fucking these two brother and sister.
Good old fashioned rock jumping.
Yeah.
Well, and the only thing known about the other ghost, Charlotte, is that she had a gimpy leg that she dragged behind her.
Maybe George R. R. Martin knows a lot about this castle and he's stealing from it.
Yes. Like all of Game of Thrones is so. Yes.
The castle is definitely Harrenhal.
Like you hear like a wooden claw dragging on the ground. You peek out, you see a little girl dragging a little tiny leg behind her. Like a dead, just a
ghost
dead
of
weight.
Fucking Timmy or whatever his name is.
Like a big old noodle leg. Like
noodle leg.
Well, that's what I picture. That's what like the descriptions of her.
I mean, yeah,
she's dragging a dead, deformed leg.
Yeah, it's just a noodling. Sounds really.
Yeah, that's what's happening there. It's terrifying. They're often seen together though in the halls, which is an interesting fact that we never bring up. So it's like
they're crawling around because they both got fucking dick legs. Like,
yeah. But no, even these two young girls have been seen with sitting with the priest. The priest ghost.
The priest is standing there, and then you got the two girls like those dogs that just walk on their front legs with their legs dragged.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so fucked up. I'm sorry, but it's fucked. It's so fucked up. I'm sorry, Emily and Charlotte. Don't haunt me.
Yeah, it brings a interesting thought though, that to me is because a lot of the times when we talk about ghosts, we talked about like the stone tape theory of like maybe these things are just like a repeats, but like this seemingly would point out that these ghosts have all died in different times, but in the afterlife are seemingly interacting with each other, which I haven't heard a lot of. Outside of like American Horror Story or like some fucking movie, but like actual accounts, like not very often comes to mind where this happens.
Yeah, so you have so singular apparitions are definitely probably the majority of the things that you see, especially at Leap Castle, because the next one of the, I guess, the supernatural superstars of the castle apparently is the Red Lady. And
Lady in red.
This ghost
dancing with me.
Yeah,
that's a fucking classic, boys. Krista Berg.
No, well, this is a fucking dark. Take a dark twist.
This is not a great love song.
This isn't where the fucking banger from Krista Berg is originated from.
No, absolutely
no.
not. I hope not.
Pretty sure Krista Berg is Canadian too, boys. It's got some other. Don't Pay the Ferryman. That's a fucking banger too. Look it up if you don't know about it. Yeah, it's a banger.
Look it up.
You got it.
She's one of the most encountered ghosts in Leap Castle, though, is the Red Lady.
She's often seen in what is known as the Blue Room, which apparently used to be a nursery. And it's said that this Red Lady is often identified by wearing a long red dress. She's described as being tall and lean and having long brown hair.
Listen, we got to interrupt you here, buddy, because this is big news.
Sure.
Krista Berg, not Canadian. You know where he's from?
Where? Ireland.
Okay.
Oh, hey, it could be the Lady in Red is then about this. We don't know.
Has to be.
I hope not. Okay, I hope not. One of the most identifiable characteristics of the Red Lady is that she's often seen carrying what seems to be a dagger, always in the upraised position, as if she's getting ready to strike. And so,
I mean, some people face them down.
Some people see her and it seems like they'll notice her and she doesn't have it. But when she sees you, she just gives you the old like, like I'm gonna fuck. You want some of this? Like she fucking she throws it up and like does a lunge like she's gonna fucking stab you.
And so there's a couple of legends as the possible origins of the Red Lady. So the first legend says that she was actually a rape victim of one of the O'Carrolls, since that would kind of track with their
O'Carrolls boys. They're awful people.
With their reputation of cruelty.
Yeah. Is there a shittier family?
I mean, probably if we went through the history books. It's a guarantee.
Is there a shittier family in Ireland? Probably not.
Maybe. Probably. I think it was real crazy.
Well, it's not the Bloomfields.
So apparently, the legend goes that she got pregnant by one of the O'Carrolls, and that when the child was born, the O'Carrolls actually killed the baby with a dagger.
Baby murder
upon delivery.
Baby murder.
Baby murder.
Yeah, that's no whole different stuff, boys. Baby murder. That's next level. You could just give that baby to somebody else and be like, "This is your baby now." Right.
Another version is that she actually managed to take the dagger and kill herself as well after they had killed her baby.
That makes sense. I would.
And this spirit has been confirmed, or at least was actually written about by Mildred Darby. Like we do have accounts of her personal accounts of seeing this apparition crying in the blue room. Perhaps.
Well, it makes sense. And I mean, like this is like stereotypical ghosts that we've talked about, like, you know, extreme trauma, takes her own life, like disgruntled spirit, like obviously hanging.
Baby, like that's fucking
right. It's fucked up. And then like now when you hear the stories of the ghosts, it's like it looks like she wants to stab someone. It's like, yeah, no shit, I'd want to stab someone too.
100%.
And there are a couple other ghosts. I think Andrew said they had a couple of other ones that have kind of roamed around the Lep Castle or have been sighted by other people who have frequented the grounds. Is that correct?
The unknown screaming woman.
Unknown screaming woman.
Yeah.
The unknown screaming.
That's a good credit roll. Who are you? I was unknown screaming
absolutely.
woman 1.
That's on IMDb.
Yeah.
The unknown screaming woman is thought to be another O'Carroll murder victim. Because, you know, they have a lot of them.
There's plenty of them, yeah.
She has been described as having very few clothes on and with a red cloth over her face. She screams twice very loudly before disappearing.
That's it.
That was fucking awful.
Gone. Terrifying.
Gone. Ninja dust.
There's also what people call it.
That sounds worse.
It's not a clown.
That sounds way worse than the
It's not a clown.
Lady.
Now, numerous people were imprisoned and executed in Lep Castle. We've talked about this, and which is why
they get tossed in the fucking omelet. We talked about it.
Yeah, which is why you get all scrambled in the omelet with all the other ghosts. So one of the most terrifying beings that reside in the castle is claimed to be called It, and it is a small creature about the size of a sheep, and it has a decaying face. It is believed that when it appears, it is accompanied by a smell of sulfur and the smell of a decaying corpse.
Ooh.
Now, I will say this. It also sounds like another ghost. So, you know, I got this from 2 different sources. Another ghost, the elemental. And the elemental is believed, you know, it's believed to be a ghost that can only pop up on the countrysides, and they attach themselves to particular places. And if you've watched Ghost Hunters or whatever, they did an episode where they went there. Quite funny. And they were talking about the elemental is that like this ghost don't give a fuck. But if you provoke the elemental, like it will fuck with you back. Like, he doesn't like to be fucked with. So some people actually attribute the elemental haunting Lep Castle to Mildred Darby's
she opened up
dabbling
the gates,
in the.
She opened up the gates.
Yeah, she opened up the gates, which resulted in the awakening of the elemental. And it basically, even Mildred Darby wrote about this ordeal in 1909. She said she was standing in a gallery when she felt somebody put a hand on her shoulder. When she looked, she saw a thing about the size of a sheep with a gaunt, inhuman face. It had black cavities for eyes, and it had the smell of a decomposing corpse. And some people say that, like, because Mildred Darby perhaps opened some sort of gateway, that all the elements for this elemental were present at this area. Like, it's just like all these tortured
wind,
souls,
fire, water.
It had it all. It had it all. It had all the elements. And it's now the 5th element at Lep Castle.
I like it.
It's also known as Lilu.
Lilu, yeah. Terrifying. Old decay face Lilu.
Yeah, that was the account that had been published. I think she actually wrote to a gothic horror like publication, and she wrote about her experience with the elemental, talking about how it was accompanied with the smell of sulfur. And to this very day, people report like smelling that smell of sulfur or decaying flesh often accompanies a strange experience.
Anytime over decaying flesh. Decaying flesh is the worst smell on the fucking planet. You'll never get it. It lasts in your nostrils for days after you smell it, and it's horrifying. You can
get used to it.
Like 2 fucking dollops of Vicks fucking vapor up, and you just dice them up in your nose. Still smell it. You can't get rid of it. It's the fucking worst.
You get used to it.
So check out the brains floorboards immediately.
So check in my omelet.
You got an omelet?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Nope, I would not.
So for a while, I believe the castle really didn't cater to the paranormal investigators. But in recent years, I think starting in like the early 2000s, you had a number of paranormal investigators being admitted to the castle, and then some are allowed to like stay overnight in a couple of cases.
Yeah, and every fucking paranormal investigator says the same thing. No one's allowed to stay here, but I know someone who knows someone who lets me stay here. Every single one of them said the same fucking thing. Obviously, they're letting them all in.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they just called ahead.
Yeah, they kind of like, they say that, but you know what they also say all the time? Probably. What? Like, what? Can you imagine these ghosts being like, "I fight you for the bed. What you doing there?" Like, pardon? Like, what the fuck you saying, ghost?
I will say this. I watched a couple of documentaries.
You can't understand what the fuck they're saying.
And I was like, I had to turn on the fucking YouTube captions because I was like, I don't know what
that's
this
what I'm saying. Because you mean, ghosts?
And then even the YouTube captions, I was like, there's no way that's what he's saying. This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like what? Get out of my castle. Get back to the guys were I got the fucking knife and I'm lady in red. You better fuck off.
Murder whole room. Yeah.
So fucking bad. We're so shitty at this. Fucking talking about omelets and fucking bullshit Irish accents.
Stupid.
Listen, I'm going to derail this even further. I'm so disappointed because in Dan's notes,
you got a tail?
Dan's notes, he's like, Lep Castle located in County Offaly. And I was going to be like, you want to know why? Because it's awfully big. Thought I was gonna dropping a dad joke.
You were waiting and he skipped the first line of his notes. You're like,
me. I'm like,
you guys skipped it.
That was the dad joke. Like, I'm not going to go back. Century. I was so ready to fucking drop it down.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, but I got dicked. I didn't get it. I didn't get to fucking say it.
Well, you did now. You got it there.
Yeah, I had
now. There's another. Okay, this is so funny. I'm like, this is obviously lost in translation because this sounds like what we've already talked about. You know, the brothers quarreled for the ownership of the castle. It sounds like the one brother stabbing the other brother in the chapel, right? But they say this one room, coined the murder hole room. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's just because the Americans didn't want to say omelette. Yeah, they were like, some Americans didn't want to say omelette.
It's like freedom fries. Like, we're not calling French fries a freedom fries.
I'm not calling it. What is that? Some French, from Nancy word?
I can't read that. I can't read that.
I can't read that. What should we call it? Murder
freedom room.
I mean, it is a fairly accurate description of what an oubliette is.
Like, so it's where they free you from your life. It's a freedom room.
So the murder hole room, also called the muckle hole room, not by anyone there. There's a big blood stain on the floor apparently, and it is said to be from where the one man stabbed his brother to death. So that sounds to me like the chapel,
the red room
area.
Or
but it's hard to say. But they say that in this murder hole room, which it's hard to say because I'm like, it also sounds like the chapel, but it also sounds like the room.
That's definitely the chapel. I've heard this too. There's still blood stains in it.
Yeah. So I would say that they say that this is probably one of the most paranormally activated rooms in the castle. And they get the most activity in this room.
More than the omelet room? There's fucking 3 carts of bodies coming out of the omelet room.
Dude, I just got to quickly say on that, I watched the Ghost Hunters episode on this, and I fucking hate those shows a lot of the time. Just really fucking hate them. And this one was particularly bad. One of the guys, like they spent 10 minutes on one of the guys because he wouldn't fly because he's scared because he had a bit of turbulence fucking 2 years ago and he's traumatized. He's like, until you get the fear like I have it, you'll never know.
I sympathize.
And I guess he got on the plane and then he got off the plane and he goes, listen, I look around the airport, everyone here, they're getting on a plane. I just think they're going to die. Everyone here is going to die. And if I get on the plane, I'll be one of them. I'm like, you let your friends go. Yeah. you let all your buddies and all the production crew get on the plane because you like a little bit selfish.
It's kind of it's like, how could you like be a paranormal investigator and not want to fly? Like not want to go somewhere where like there's a lot more haunted places than just the places that you could drive to. And you'd be like, I don't want to fly.
Buddy, he talks to fucking dead people on the rag. He knows. They tell him, don't go on the planes, man.
But none of them died in plane crashes.
They're saying don't go on planes because they don't even know what it is.
No, yeah. By that reason, it's like you should go on a plane because nobody died. Like nobody.
They talk to their ghost. They talk to their spooky buddies, and they're like, "Listen, my buddy was on flight 370. You don't want to be on plane."
Yeah. There's a scene where a guy's walking outside and he trips and falls, and he's just like, I got pushed. Something pushed me. Something pushed me over. Something pushed me. I'm like, you tripped, you asshole. But it was a pretty interesting episode if you want to watch Ghost Hunters on this. But yeah, they were getting some activity in the murder hole room. They were looking for the demonic force known as the elemental.
Yes, they were provoking it. I think it was the exact. I watched the same episode. Idea. So they were provoking it. They called it a wuss. Even though I'm sure like a
why the fuck
18, like a 20th century, an early 20th century ghost wouldn't really want to know.
Listen, that's an Irish ghost, it's a fucking stubborn ghost. Those guys are still getting paranormal.
They wouldn't know what a wuss is.
They're fucking chasing.
Yeah. So they're like, shh, I got it. Shh. Come on, you.
Yeah, there's some confusion around the legend of the elemental as to whether it was summoned by the druids, like it was put there as some sort of protector spirit, or perhaps it was summoned by Mildred Darby or something like that. But if it were a druid spirit, I would really assume that it didn't understand English. Like,
well, and a druid spirit would make sense too, because so it's like perhaps there was already something there on these grounds that kind of like.
Isn't it on a ley line?
This kind of.
Hold on, isn't it on a ley line? It's got to be.
It's on.
Has to be on a ley line. Has to.
It is. You heard it here first.
It's on a ley line.
It's on a ley line. Yeah. And guess what? It is on the edge of Craig's Triangle.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the edge of Craig's Triangle, which is crazy. Just inside, right on the border of Craig's Triangle. But like a druid. I think that kind of made sense to me, where I was like, okay, like maybe this was, like some sort of spirit summoned by the druids or whatever that they would conjure up. And that's just that brought all this more misfortune to people, because maybe it would like play with people's minds, right? And just make them do these terrible things. Like the brother who stabbed his other brother, maybe it was in his head being like, like this is the only way. This is the only way you're going to get ahead is you got to kill him. You got to. Because like some of the shit sounds like it sounds like crazy. Like people had some mental illness back then. So I was kind of wondering if like maybe that could be an explanation for all the kind of all the crazy shit that happened to people, is that maybe the spirit is just there toying with people that live there.
I feel like people 100%. Were super killy back then, though.
Yes.
We got a problem. We might as well kill them.
They were. There's a whole play about it. It's called Macbeth. Like that's Scotland, but it's like, it's still, people were super killy back in the 13th, 14th, 15th centuries. Yeah. Everybody was killing everybody.
Or me and Dan agree.
I dig it. Because history around that time was extremely violent, and I'm 100% sure you'd find a bunch of more crazy stuff if you went back around then and looked up the histories of some of these clans. Everybody was super killing everybody. If it were some type of druid spirit, but that's the thing. But that's the thing though, because everybody says that, or at least most of the I guess whatever the majority of the things I read about the elemental, they were saying that it's mostly benign. Like it just sits there. It doesn't really do anything. You might feel its presence, but it doesn't really mess with you unless you provoke it somehow, I guess provoking it. And then when it reaches out to interact with you, it either pushes you or kind of tugs on your shirt as a, I guess that's
like pushes you off a ledge.
No, like gently shoves you down probably a loose incline that has a bunch of rocks on it. I suppose. The place, Ireland's chock full of ghosts. Like Ireland, Irish culture is chock full of ghosts and spirits.
You do a whole case file on Irish folklore.
I mean, you could do 10 case files on Irish folklore. I mean, there are people who spend their entire lives writing entire essays and books about Irish folklore, and you won't nail it all down because
seems like a waste of time because we could do it in one episode. We could do one episode.
Sum it all up.
100 not. I mean, we could. I mean, yes, we could because then like it would be about like 10% facts, and then you guys just bullshitting and making shit up for the rest of the thing. It would be
I've never. All right,
yeah,
that is
how
fucking
dare
blasphemous.
you?
Like the entire thing about Leap Castle is that it is located in an area that is not I guess like a stranger to unusual things happening.
Yeah, because it's a castle.
I mean, not just the castle though, but there's another location apparently that's not far from Leap Castle called Montpelier Hill, which is in the same location. Montpelier Hill is apparently a place where they had built there was some type of lodge that was built there by William Connolly, who at the time during the 1700s was the wealthiest man, one of the wealthiest men in Ireland, and then he built his hunting lodge there. And then it's said that this specific lodge that he built was either built on top of, or they had destroyed or in some way incorporated the stones from a sacred cairn that had been located there previously. Ooh. So built by, it's an ancient gravesite.
Hey, listen, fucking with a cairn's bad enough. You fuck with a sacred cairn, big mistake.
So for a number of years,
you're getting real chewed up.
Oh yeah.
And it did, or it came back to haunt them in a literal sense because
I want to talk to the general manager.
The entire roof of the lodge was apparently blown off during a storm a couple of years after it was built. So people saying that the spirits had probably, exercised their anger upon the lodge at being, having their gravesite desecrated in such a way, but also that this lodge was hosted another group called the Hellfire Club, and not just the one from everyone knows from Stranger Things and all that.
Marvel.
This is the Marvel.
We'll talk about that before Stranger Things.
It was. But this was the OG Hellfire Club that was founded in 1735, attributed to one Richard Parsons and then a couple other number of people, because apparently this group, there's like an English and there's also like an Irish Hellfire Club. There's a couple different ones apparently when this one popped up.
There's chapters all over the world.
And it was said that the Hellfire Club was one of those clubs that dabbled in black magic. It was saying that, also the Richard Parsons was the first Earl of Ross. He was also a Grand Master of the first Irish Freemason Lodge. There's a couple of stories that concern the Hellfire Club there. There's one saying that the president was also often named the King of Hell and would dress like Satan with horns, wings, hooves, everything. And that perhaps some of their ceremonies included animal sacrifice, specifically cats. There's cats that are involved with this, used in summonings of various demons and spirits. And it was said that it was natural, or it was usual during their ceremonies or during their meetings, they would set an actual place at their table for the devil in anticipation that he would attend one of these things. And then there's also people who say that there's just a reason for rich guys to get together and have drunken orgies together. So, I mean.
Yeah, gin. When else are you going to have gin fizzies? Right?
I'm pretty sure you can have them without having a fucking drunken rich guy orgy. Like, that doesn't sound like a great time.
Yeah.
This area is not unknown for it's a bit of paranormal stuff that goes on.
You don't have to look far.
No. And so Leap Castle, with its violent history and its things, I mean, it's like we said, the Bloody Chapel, that chapter from Leap Castle's history, if there was a place that was going to be haunted, like you'd say, like that checks all the fucking boxes for
100%
to something that would presage a haunting. That you'd be like, you have two brothers, you have fratricide, two brothers killing each other. One being an actual priest, a man of God in a chapel in front of your entire family and then left to die there on the pulpit, bleed out, that would be something to be like, yeah, if I went back there, I would guarantee that this place would be fucking haunted, of course.
100%.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and then you have the entire Carroll clan and their list of
atrocities.
That's got to be the fucking clan that's full of the most motherfuckers ever. Like, these guys are the worst, the O'Carrolls. They have to be.
Yeah.
But it is a place you can go visit. I believe it's not that far from Dublin. Like, you can actually get a visit. If it were going to, I'd probably go visit it. It'd be fun. I think it'd be neat to visit sometime.
Oh, I'd go to the Lep Castle. 100%.
Fucking crazy. Why? What do you got to gain there?
It's
nice.
fucking
go during the
anywhere.
daytime. Like, it's nice.
There's tons of cool shit to do in Ireland.
I believe, at least in Montpelier Hill, and I think Lep Castle as well, there are some nice walking paths to kind of go out there. You can enjoy the Irish countryside, for the beautiful scenery out there. If not the haunted castles. I'm pretty sure every Irish castle is probably haunted.
That's what I'm saying. Every castle's haunted.
Castles, I'd say, especially Irish castles, would probably.
All of the castles are haunted. Every single one of them.
All of the castles
have to be.
I mean, there's some really nice castles in Spain, and I don't think they're haunted.
Gotta be. No, they have to be. Every one of them has a suit of armor that comes alive at night and haunts the place.
I guess it's a prerequisite for having a castle. Like,
they also have a fucking shit ton of doors right beside each other where you can like run into them and hide. And when you run into the ghost,
Scooby-Doo,
really slippery floors, so when you run, you don't go anywhere. Standard.
But this is the beginning of spooky season.
Yeah, that was Dan's pick.
First Spooktober season.
That was Dan's pick for Spooktober. We Spooky Castle. It's gonna get spookier. It's gonna get bloodier. It's gonna get scarier. You're not gonna be able to sleep because this is Spooktober. Ooh. Theorite of the week this week. First off, I'm going to do a quick, we discussed something on the beginning of the show, but I'm going to mix it up. Theorite of the week this week is Zell for giving us a fucking break.
It's just fucking taking it,
So Zell, hey, good on you. Thank you for finally taking a show off to give the rest of us a fucking break.
When Dad's away, the boys play.
From all the LOLs and you guys are fucking up, LOL. And
those are mean. Those suck.
I hate getting those LOLs from Zell. Anyways, congratulations, Zell, on your first ever Theorite of the Week. Congratulations. Well deserved, buddy. If you want Theory of the Week, I will make you a deal. We record in another week's time. And if you want Theory of the Week, go ahead. We have another show, Sports Conspirators. It's just started. We got 3 episodes out. By the time you're listening to this, maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe 6. Head to Sports Conspirators. Give it a like and follow. Give it a 5-star review. The best 5-star review from Sports Conspirators, I will be giving a serious look at for Theory of the Week because I will know it's coming from you guys. It'd be much help for a new show growing. You'll like it. It's similar to this, but with sports and sports-related conspiracies. So congratulations, Zell, and we'll go from there. Anything else before I play the theme music?
No. Happy Spooktober.
Your eyes. Happy Spooktober.
Do we got the Patreon people to read off? Do we have that?
Oh, I got the Patreon.
I was just checking. It wasn't in the notes.
That's why I'm going to play the music. I even got that music to play on the live stream. I don't know how loud it's going to be. Probably going to be overpowering. I don't give a shit. If you like our show, if you like what we do as a base show, you want to support it, help us grow, head to patreon.com/alien theorist podcast. And in return, we'll give you hours. We probably got close to 300 hours of bonus material. You get Sports Conspirators early. You get Cosmic Channels early. You get ATT probably about 3 to 4 weeks early now. You get tons of bonus stuff. It's insane how much we do on the extra. And it helps keep the lights on. So head to patreon.com/alien theorist podcast.
Nerds. And fucking Japan, there's tons of shit.
Speaking of
D&D, fuck, come on.
Speaking of new Patreon supporters, we got Chris Chambliss, John Jacoby.
Is there supposed to be music or there's no music?
There's music. You guys just can't hear it.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Veyron Veyandu. I don't. Oh, never mind. Hey, fuck you. He deleted it. I read that by mistake. Suck it, buddy. We got Peyton McIff. We got I am Steven Tucker, Chief Soda Pop. And that rounds out our newest Patreon supporters. Thank you. It means the world to us that you support our little show. And we couldn't do it without you. And as we always say at the end of these things, keep those eyes on the skies. Stick around for after hours. We're in after hours.
It's the final countdown.
Brayden was just asking me what an HOA is. Why were you asking?
Well, because I said, hey, any hypotheticals in the chat? And fucking Chris said, how do you feel about HOAs, which is homeowners
Feel bad about it, bud.
Yeah.
Quite possibly the worst question ever been asked.
Well, history of questions.
Like
Terrible.
I guess. I mean, if that's what they meant. I mean, that's what I know what HOAs means.
I don't even know what a homeowners association is. I don't care.
I hate it.
Yeah, I hate it too. It sounds stupid.
It stinks.
Bunch of upper middle class people getting together and telling you how to mow your lawn, essentially is how I understand
That's terrible. Why would you want to talk about that when we could talk about the fact that the Detroit Lions won in September?
Is that a rare occurrence?
Oh, yeah, boys. This hasn't happened in years.
Winning.
This hasn't happened in a long time. Not to mention, too, we lost week 1 against the Eagles, but the fucking Vikings only put 7 points on the Eagles. We put 35 on them. That's 3 games in a row we've put up over 30 fucking points.
What's your record?
It's a big deal, boys. 1-1.
But you've said 3 weeks.
Yeah, that was last year too. Week 16. We put up over 30. So that's 3 games in a row we put up over 30 points. Big fucking deal, boys. This ain't your same old Detroit Lions, pal.
You know what's a good question that I want to ask? Why on earth do they put so many goddamn pretzels in Munchie Mix?
Are you thirsty? Espresso's making you thirsty?
Yeah, dude, the pretzel's the worst part.
They making you thirsty?
Oh,
you're taking full advantage of Zell not being here, eh? Eating chips.
Yeah, just fucking munch down on us. You can eat while we're recording.
Zell would be fucking just... Zell's vampire ears can hear you crunching from here and he's pissed.
Oh, yeah.
He's fucking pissed.
I guarantee you, when Zell edits this, he's going to send me a fucking 30-second audio clip of all the chewing. And he'd be like, serious? Hey, look at me. I'm the captain now.
Oh my God. Listen, I don't know what he gives a fuck. But DeAndre Swift put on like $160 fucking yards against the Eagles. Dalvin Cook, who is one of the best running backs in the NFL, put up how many did he put up? 17 yards. That's all he got. It's fun, boys. Game
against your
team.
The
tides are changing. Tides are fucking changing. All right.
It's perfect. Our episode, Sports and Spirit episode about the Lions comes out next week.
Fuck, it's good. It's about fucking time because the curse is over, boys. It's all about Honolulu Blue. I'm drinking the fucking Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm drunk on it.
It's just about time.
Fucking drunk on it.
You guys going to make the playoffs, you think?
I think we're going.
What's your early season prediction?
I think we're going fucking.
Play 2 games.
And there's only like what, 12 left?
Yes. No, there's 16 games now.
Oh, okay.
14 more.
14 left.
Are they going to play on Thanksgiving?
They always do.
Didn't, or is that Cowboys that somebody
Cowboys
didn't play last
and
time?
Lions always play on Thanksgiving.
I thought it was one year they didn't. Oh, that was usually they lose on Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. We normally lose on Thanksgiving. We're going to lose.
They usually play the Bears.
Hey, listen,
isn't it like the Bears?
No.
Like they usually know.
I would love it if we're playing the Bears on Thanksgiving, but we're playing the fucking Buffalo Bills, and we're definitely going to lose on Thanksgiving.
Probably.
Like 1,000%. They're so good. They are fucking... It's insane how good they are. And it's funny to watch the fucking... We got a little Discord beef between... who's the fuck... Irish Potato and Ron's Ponderings. Because Ron Ponderings is huge fucking Buffalo Bills fan.
Sure.
Ron Ponder... and the Irish Potato. What was his name before? Fuck, it's driving me nuts.
Sean.
Yes, Sean. And Sean is a huge fucking Patriots fan, and he tries to bash the Bills every chance he gets, but they're going to get, the Pats are going to get fucking smashed by the Bills this year. Like, they won't even stand a chance. Guys going to be crying tater tots for months.
You know what surprised me? I just found out. I felt stupid. And this is a belief that I've held since a young child. So it's just a belief that's gone unchecked since I was a young child.
Sure.
Similar to
That you won the jumping from a rock competition?
No.
Okay.
Since a young child, I believe that the Buffalo Sabres emblem was a buffalo.
It's not?
It's a goat. Is that surprising?
No, it's not a goat. It's a fucking
goat.
buffalo with two swords, buddy.
No, it's a fucking goat head. Because I saw someone wrote it. Someone was like, "Oh yeah, they got the fucking silver red goat head," and I'm like, "Goat head,
Silver and red.
fucking buffalo."
I'm talking about the original, like the blue and gold. It's a buffalo. The blue and gold is definitely a buffalo.
It's a goat head. Look it up, man. I was
Dude,
rattled.
the Buffalo Sabres, that's a buffalo, bro. They're both buffaloes.
It's a goat head.
It's a buffalo.
Dude, I was rattled.
The blue and gold is a buffalo. The original logo is definitely a buffalo. I'm looking at it right now.
Man.
That's not a goat.
I thought it was me too.
That's a buffalo. I'm looking at the
buffalo.
Are you looking at
Why the fuck would they have
100% a buffalo?
Why would it be a goat? That makes no sense. You are so much better than this.
You're gonna have to show me something you're looking at because I don't know if it's like that is 100% a buffalo.
Which one are you looking at here?
Their fucking initial logo. It's definitely a fucking...
That's a buffalo.
It's a buffalo, dude.
That's a goat. It's called the goat head jersey. It blew my mind. Look, Sabres goat head uniform returning. You go to their official website, it's named the goat head, and I'm like, what? I was blown away.
Okay. It is called the goat head jersey. Weird.
It's crazy. I thought it was a buffalo my whole life.
It doesn't even make... It's not a fucking goat. There's no fucking way it's a goat.
It's a goat. I know.
It's not.
Why would you have it a goat? It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard because it should be a buffalo.
It's a buffalo.
But look, Buffalo Sabres bring back goat head jerszy.
No.
Sabres goat head
maybe
uniform
that means
returning.
Maybe they're saying like greatest of all time head jersey. Because that's a buffalo.
Thing.
That's not a goat, dude. That's not a goat.
I agree. I was like, that's the dumbest thing ever. It's a buffalo, and your jersey's a buffalo because that's what makes sense. It's crazy. It's wild. But unfortunately, it's a goat head. And I believe my whole life.
The Buffalo Sabres logo features a white buffalo, a symbol of good life, leaping in between two crossed swords in a royal blue circle.
Right. That's the blue one, but this is the other one. This is the alternate jersey that they call the goat
Where's
head
that
jersey.
one? This one. Yes, this one.
That's what I've been saying.
Jersey.
That's a fucking
This
goat.
is the
That's
buffalo.
a buffalo.
Yes, but this one is a goat head.
It's not a goat head.
And I thought it was
they
a
probably
buffalo.
make a joke saying it's the goat head, but it's not. That doesn't make any sense. It's not. It's not at all. It's a fucking definitely a buffalo.
They call it the goat head jersey.
Yeah, because it's the greatest of all time head jersey. Why would they have a goat? That makes no sense. You're so wrong on every level. You're fucking using Google Images to prove your point. That's fucking, you're wrong.
So this cheese, I think I may have talked about this before.
You told
for
me
my
about
entire
it,
life.
and it's
for my entire life.
The same thing with me. I fucked that up.
I have read this cheese. I go to this store for my whole life, 33 years on this earth. I would go to the store and I would say, ooh, they're like, oh, what cheese should we get? And I'd go, ooh, I want that Old Fort cheddar. That's my favorite kind. And I say that every single time I go to the store. Go to the grocery store with Jamie. She says, what kind of cheese you want to get? And I went, I want to get that Old Fort cheddar. And she goes, why are you saying both the words? And I went, what are you talking about? She goes, why are you saying the French part? And I went, what do you mean the French part? And she goes, well, Fort is old in French. And I went, huh? I never realized that it's not. It's just old cheddar. And I've been calling it Old Fort cheddar my entire life. Like a moron.
That goat head jersey is dope because it's like a double. I'm looking at it right now. It's like the actual jersey is pretty cool because it's like when you put the arms out, there's supposed to be horns that come up here. Like it's designed to look like, but you have like the buffalo head, and then you have like when you have your arms out, there's another like there's horns here, and it resembles like a buffalo. Like that's pretty fucking cool. That's goat head. That's a good design. It's a dope design.
Yeah, it's too bad they're the worst team in the league. Greatest all time, my ass. It'll be interesting. You guys ever have a moment of that where you just like you've just held on to a long belief, and it's not even that it's a belief of yours. It's just information that's never been
the straight and narrow.
Oh yeah,
that fucking dicked me. The straight and narrow. No idea.
What have you been saying?
I thought it was the straight and narrow, not the straight and narrow. I thought it was the straight and narrow. Like, gotta get on the straight arrow. Like, crooked arrow is fucking dicked. You gotta get on the straight arrow.
Wait, what is it?
It's the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Yeah. Okay, you want another one? You want another one?
Straight and narrow? Like, yeah. That's what it's always been.
I thought it was a straight and narrow. I thought it was a straightened arrow.
I thought it was just straight and narrow.
Listen, here's another one for you, boys.
Yep.
Chomping at the bit or champing at the bit?
Oh, well, I would always say chomping at the bit.
But it's champing.
It's champing.
What does that mean?
It's champing at the bit.
It's like when a horse is like you're getting ready to do something, like you're ready to do something, you're excited to do something.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Well, it's chomping at the bit.
No, it's champing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Such a silly.
Straight and narrow?
Yeah. You're on the straight and narrow. Like,
okay, listen to this. The jersey, often referred to as the goat head, contained a buffalo head that was visible with the arms when the arms were outstretched.
Yeah. That's what Dan's saying.
Yeah. Yeah. So
but
it's a buffalo head.
The center logo is a goat.
No, it's not.
It's a buffalo with his arms outstretched. What are you talking about?
Buffalo saber. You guys are fucking high.
It's called the goat head jersey, but that's not a goat head.
Why is it called the goat head jersey if it's not a fucking goat head?
It's just the first time I've ever heard about it. So
Ron's pondering. If you're listening, get in the fucking chat. Tell us what's going on, buddy.
It's the dumbest thing because
it's fucking weird. I don't get it. And I hate it. I hate that you did that to me. That makes me mad.
I have no idea why it's called the goat.
Well, it doesn't make sense because I'm like, I don't even really recognize a goat in that picture.
Yeah, it makes just as much sense as a place that's named Buffalo that has a logo that's a goat. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
That's why they're a shitty team and no one likes them.
Because it's the greatest of all time logo.
It's the greatest of all time head logo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Stupid.
Makes sense to me. It's better than having a goat for their logo. What the fuck? Why would they do that?
Why are they named the Sabres? It's the dumbest name anyways.
Because everybody knows the best fucking sabers. Everybody knows that's where the lifesavers come from. All the flavors. Yeah.
Lifesavers?
Lifesavers.
They're called lifesavers.
I know, I'm joking. Fuck you. I make a joke here.
You fucked up.
I'm not fucking. Obviously, I know.
Do they still make lifesavers?
I know they're terrible.
I used to get them only at Christmas.
It's the best color lightsaber.
You get the Christmas book.
Yeah. Oh, but then remember you get
red.
like butterscotch and shit for Christmas? Bonk.
Oh, fuck that. Boo. Boo. Dan, do you know what lifesavers are?
What?
Did you have lifesavers candies in the States?
Yeah.
What about what about the breath mint ones? The breath mint lifesavers.
Oh, Zeltron's still
Breath
playing in
savers?
the background? How is Zeltron still playing? There's no way Zeltron's still playing in the background. You're high, buddy.
ABF.
There's no
what are
way.
you talking about, man?
What are you talking about? You're crazy, buddy. There's no way Zeltron's still playing in the background.
No way.
There's no way I would fuck
Jose.
up like that.
There's just as much way that the Buffalo Sabres have a logo that's a fucking goat that there is that fucking Zeltron's playing.
I'm like, I don't understand the goat head logo because I saw that. It's actually funny because I saw it on like a Buffalo Sabres TikTok or whatever, and it was from like a prominent sports
That's what
channel.
you get for watching fucking TikTok.
Everyone was like calling a goat head, and I like
1 in 5 of those posts contains misinformation of the TikTok post. Like if you're fucking on TikTok, like, no.
Yeah, well, that's where I go for all my fucking breaking news. Yeah,
I just 100%. Saw an
100%.
article today that that's what a lot of Gen Zers are doing now. Is actually they search more on TikTok than they do Google. They use TikTok more than they use Google.
Are you kidding me? What, are they getting their information with someone having a dance to it? Like the dumbest thing I ever heard.
It's like I'm totally telling the truth though.
Yeah. Wow. They probably don't looking up information. It's just some fucking boomer saying that when really the story should be Gen Zers use TikTok more than Google.
They use TikTok to source information. Like they'll search.
How do you even search stuff on TikTok? How?
Sure, there's a search button or something. So you can type in something, right? There's a search bar.
Okay, well, hold on. I got TikTok on my phone because we have TikTok. Let me look. Ask me a question. What should I search to get an answer from TikTok?
Who is currently in first place in the NFC North with point differential?
In
point
first
differential
place, who is currently
with point differential?
In first place with point differential. Is that it?
Yeah.
Who of just anything NFL?
Yeah. It's obviously NFL. There's only one NFC North, and that's in the NFL.
Holy shit! Oh my god! It's just some girl doing this. Detroit Lions. Wow,
that's correct.
Are we sure that's misinformation? Wow, that's insane.
That's right. TikTok is the gospel.
No, there's nothing. There's literally nothing. It's just people dancing. There's a spinning wheel. There's some weird guy looking at it. There's literally nothing. There's literally no information.
Zeltron is playing for this fucking guy, KFB. Are you sure you shut it off?
How?
He said, I guess it's just me. Shrug.
Weird.
Yeah. How?
I mean, there is worse things to be continuously playing in your brain. It's the fucking worst. I suffer from this thing called like earworms, where I'll get like a song, I'll get a hook of a song stuck in my head, and it will play in my head repetitively
I get that.
for fucking hours. Like I'm trying to sleep,
think everyone gets
and
that.
all I can hear is a fucking
experience. It's a normal experience.
Yeah, it happens to me nightly. Like every night when I'm trying to fall asleep, I have a song stuck in my head. Every night.
Look in TikTok. Type in moon landing. Put in moon landing. Do that.
That's all I'm typing in?
Yeah, just type in moon landing.
Moon landing.
Okay. What does it say?
The first one says moon landing. We're not fake. Moon landing. We're not fake.
Okay.
Second one says the first American moon landing and its footage. The third one says, does anyone actually still watch the moon landing footage and think it's real?
So 1 in 5 of those posts are misinformation. So we only had to go to 3.
Are you kidding me? 2 of 3 are misinformation.
Okay.
That's what I believe.
Sure.
Based on our science we just did. I don't know. TikTok's stupid. Anyone getting information from there is Dumb. You got to get your information from Twitter like everyone else.
Yeah. Social media is a fucking wasteland. I can't. I hate it. Hate every facet of it so much. I'm convinced it's eventually going to fall by the wayside. There's something. There's going to be a shift that happens at some point in the next few decades, and there's going to be something that shifts away from social media because it's like it's not. The systems now that are in place are so incredibly predatory, and so like the algorithms that are feeding the systems are just so absolutely harmful to the human psyche, like toxic. And
you'll always see it, man. You'll always see it in young people in high school and stuff. You'll always see social media. Well,
it's just
it'll be one of those things people just grow out of. You don't do it.
But you look at the thing now, like you look at the trends of it's like, I wonder what type of form it's going to take next, because you have like Facebook, right? And Facebook is falling by the wayside at this point. Like it is not utilized by the Gen Zers and stuff like that. And then eventually, like you realize a lot of that stuff, like the only real social media. The thing is like even social media as an adult, you can't escape it, because at this point you have, at least in my experience now, is like you have to have a LinkedIn. Like you have to. Like you have, if you want to be able to like move, like you want to have mobility in your career, you have to have a LinkedIn page.
Who the fuck uses LinkedIn? Really?
Yeah, especially in the IT industry and the IT industry and stuff like that, you have to have a LinkedIn. Like if you don't, it's like you're gonna miss out on a lot of opportunities and all this stuff. But the funny thing is, in cybersecurity, dude, LinkedIn is the first place you go check as like a hacker or something in order to footprint in like an organization.
Oh, open source information then? That's one of the easiest places to get people's information.
Oh, it's fucking crazy. And I'm just like, why would I want a LinkedIn? Why would I want a Facebook? Like my Facebook, all my shit's private. Like I haven't posted anything on there for probably 4 years. Like,
okay, listen, I'm super enjoying talking about LinkedIn right now. It's super interesting. Riveting. We're going to talk about fucking Adnan Syed.
Oh, shit.
Like, that's crazy, boys.
Dude, it's crazy to me right now.
Because he's guilty. We talked about
unpopular
He's
opinion.
Guilty.
It's crazy that they let this guy out
because he's guilty
based on public opinion over facts. And evidence.
Me and you both listened to that podcast, and we didn't even chat about it during. We're like, listen, we're gonna listen to it. We're gonna have a conversation. And within like 30 seconds of fucking talking to each other for the first time since the last podcast, was guilty.
Yeah, both of us were like, oh, that guy's 100% did it.
100% guilty.
So basically, if you've listened to the podcast Serial or there's a couple others of fucking Adnan allegedly killed his girlfriend. Well, he did. He's lied to his... well, the court did say he did it. And then everyone...
For 23 years, he did it.
For 23 years, he did it. And now they've been like, well, based on all this... biased information, maybe he didn't, so let's let him out.
There was a guy who was in jail for like 40 years and just got released on he was false accusations, stuff like that. I mean,
I'm not saying false accusations. I'm just saying the evidence for him not doing it.
Available to the public, or evidence that was available to everyone.
What I'm saying is the evidence based on the case that he was tried and convicted on, based on the evidence that was brought up to the public afterwards about why he didn't do it. I leaned in and I went, this guy's just a lie till you die. He's just like,
why not?
Because they're like, he could have already been out. He could have already been out had he just admitted it, but he won't. And I'm like, yeah, because he's trying to save face to his family and stuff. Like, whatever. It might be an unpopular opinion, but
23 years.
Yeah, 23 years.
He went in when he was what, like 18, 19?
18, yeah, 17, 18. Young. Because it was high school thing, right?
Yeah,
it's been a while since I listened to that. It was a great podcast. That first Serial.
One of the best. I saw some stuff about the news, but he's technically not out of hot water. Like they still can technically contend the whatever. There's some stuff that people are saying that you can still, the way that whatever the ruling was, I didn't go into a real in depth about it, but it was like there's some stuff that the defense or whatever can go like bring charges again or something like that if they feel like it. If they feel like it's necessary. Something he's still got to go on like GPS or whatever. He's still like house arrest or something. Like he's still got.
Really, why would you try to? If you get out, like honestly, if you get if you get gifted a lottery like this that you get out, why would you blow it? Who cares if you're on GPS? I'll be like, hell yeah.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Right? Like I'd follow everything to the T. Like you just got out. Like it's crazy. But I was one of the few where me and Andrew, where we listened to it and we both looked and we're like, he's like, do you think I was like, hell no. He's like, hell no. I don't believe this. This is motherfucking 100%
To be fair though, that
girlfriend.
might be just be us because we watched Making a Murder too and we're like, oh, guy's never been more guilty ever.
Yeah, I was like, they're making a murder. We were like instantly.
Hey, staircase?
The second they were.
Staircase? Guilty. 1,000%.
Guilty.
Guilty. More guilty.
Guilty. Yeah, that's the dumbest thing ever. Dude,
So it might just be
we
us.
should still do a true crime podcast because every podcast we do, there'd be no mystery. Yeah, you
guilty.
stupid, he did it. He was burning that cat as a joke earlier, and then he killed a woman. That's the natural progression of being a
Brendan,
piece of
you're
shit.
not going to see fucking WrestleMania. All right? You helped your uncle
Brendan,
murder somebody.
You're going to jail.
You piece of shit.
Witnessed a murder and didn't say anything. You don't get to go to WrestleMania, you piece of shit.
Oh, you mean to say your first wife fell down the stairs and died, and then the second one did? There's
the same way.
An owl
I'm
did it?
sure
Yeah.
it was a fucking owl. I'm
Has to
sure
be.
an owl flew through the window and
Fucking
killed her.
shut up.
That makes sense. Yeah, idiot. Listen.
Well, it's good they don't have to convince you guys. They just have to convince the jury.
What's that guy? What's that guy's name from the staircase? Michael.
Oh God, Michael.
What's that deal he takes? He takes the deal. He takes the deal at the end where he admits he did it.
An offered deal or something. An Alford deal?
An Alfie or something like that.
An Alford or something.
Where he admits
Alford plea.
he admits he murdered her. That's the deal. He admits that he murdered his wife. And
Alford, right.
In return for that deal, they let him
Michael
out.
Peterson is his name.
Michael Peterson. And
Yeah.
listen, I'm just saying, if I was an innocent man and I did not murder someone, and truly an owl flew through the window and attacked my wife, thrashed her downstairs, and this just so happened to be the second time one of my spouses died
Down
in
the
the
stairs
same
and
exact
died.
way, I still would not say I did it. There's no way. I'd be like, well, I didn't do it. Why would I say I did it when I didn't do it? Right. And he's just like, oh, 100%. I'll say I did it. Because I did.
Dude, I gotta look at, I can never forget that one the fucking HBO special where they talked to that guy that was like, oh, he's a suspect in this murder. And he's mic'd up and he goes to the mirror. And he's like, it was me and they'll never fucking catch me. And he's like,
what's his name?
Mic'd up.
Yeah, he was that guy. That guy, I can't remember his name. He's a weird dude.
Oh yeah.
Weird dude, Robert something. And he actually had he was on his third murder where people was like, the third time people were like, we think he murdered this person. And then, they matched. I remember the HBO team. Fuck, what is it called? Richard or Robert in the chat. You guys know what it is? It's the guy who got caught by HBO. I can't remember.
That's crazy though. Could you imagine? Just mic'd up and it was me. I'm the fucking guy.
Dan, what happens is this guy's he's been a suspect for this murder forever. And this HBO team did this unbelievable basically what they found an old letter written by him, which matches a letter written by the killer. The person there's a note written by the killer that they know the killer wrote this. And he spells a word and that word is spelt incorrectly. And they went through this guy's entire life and they found a letter he penned to someone where he wrote that same word with the same incorrect spelling, and they paired it up side by side, and they got it matched. And they're like, whoever wrote this letter wrote that killer's letter. And they're like, all right, well, it's this guy. And they brought it to him with all this evidence, and he's mic'd up, and they show him, and he's looking, and they're explaining to him how everything says that this person knows it's you. And he sits there, he leaves the table, he goes, excuse me. He goes in the washroom and he's sitting in the washroom looking at himself. He's hot mic'd. He still has a mic on. He goes, well, you're caught now. Yeah. That's what he says on the hot mic. And I think he ended up dying before, but he was found guilty. They're they found him guilty of this. They used that evidence against him of that admission. His lawyers were like, oh, he was just having a little fun in the bathroom, as we all do when we're accused of murder.
There's so much good shit to talk about there.
Robert Speck?
Yeah, Robert Speck. That sounds right.
I think and he's a creepy looking guy too. I don't know if it's Robert Speck.
There's that, and then there's the fucking Golden State Killer. Crazy. Fucking bust him off of 23andMe. Like fucking nuts.
No, it's not Robert Speck. Richard Speck? Robert Speck?
Well, Richard
HBO?
Speck is that's what show was that?
I don't know. I can't remember the name now. It's gonna bug me forever.
Yeah, Richard Speck. Richard Speck's
Richard
from Mindhunter.
Kill all the nurses.
He's from
he killed all the nurses.
Mindhunter. Yeah, that's right.
It's Robert something though, or Richard or Robert.
Don't name your kids Robert. All right, high chance they're gonna fucking be murderers.
Murder,
lots of murders,
or killed by a wild boar.
Or our names. Our name's not a good idea because fucking Richard Ramirez.
What's the matter with our names? I like our names.
Richard Ramirez.
Okay, our names.
Yeah, our names.
Yeah.
First names.
Double R names. Yes. Yeah. 100%. What the fuck is that guy's name, man? HBO. Hold on. HBO caught murderer Robert something.
Robert Durst.
Robert Durst. Yes.
Oh,
Millionaire Robert Durst.
Creepy motherfucker too.
Yeah, The Jinx. That's the show. If you ever want to watch a show, it's called HBO The Jinx.
He looks like a fucking crypt keeper, man.
It is phenomenal. Like imagine just someone being caught red-handed for murder, and that's what you get to watch.
There is a disproportionate amount of killers with the name that starts with R.
I don't know if there is.
Robert Kuklinski, the Iceman.
Is he the bad guy in Top Gun?
No, that's the mafia hitman that was also a serial killer that fucking was stacking bodies.
Of course, these are
Robert Ramirez. The fucking isn't that
the list you're looking at are killers that have been caught. So all you can say is that the R's. You could also
so the R's are bad killers.
Yeah, you can say the R's are just the ones who get caught.
Dude, what was that guy? There was. I always remember the one that scared me the most was that there was a guy from. I think his name was from Alaska.
Gacy's the most scary guy ever.
Yes,
Gacy's the scariest guy ever.
But those guys get caught. But there was a guy
after killing I don't know how many dudes and hiding them under their floorboards. Gacy's the scariest for sure.
Yeah, all the just stories from Gacy's killings are pretty terrifying. Ugh. There was a guy, I can't remember his name. He was from Alaska, and he would go to cities and plant kill kits that were like packages that he could dig
Robert
up.
Hansen?
And then I don't know what is. That's not his name, but and then he would murder someone with. And sometimes he would leave these kill kits for years before he would go back and retrieve them and then murder someone. And you're like, dude, I'm like, holy, like that's insane. But serial kills, interesting. It'll be interesting to see. We just had
Israel Keyes.
Who's that?
That fucking guy with the kill kits.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
Is he the guy from Alaska? Israel Keyes? Who's dropping kill kits? Oh,
yeah, Israel Keyes.
Yeah.
Keyes? I don't know.
Keys? Maybe, yeah. I just remember reading about him one time.
It can't be him. He doesn't have an R. His name doesn't start with an R.
Yeah, he couldn't have been that bad of a guy.
Couldn't have been. No way.
But yeah, Adnan, I still think he did it.
I fucking for sure he did. Him and that Jay guy fucking teamed up.
Yeah, I mean his cell phone pinged in the
if you got
same areas.
If the cell phone pings, you must not acquit.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. It's whatever. It's an interesting system.
You mean justice?
Yeah, justice.
Like the justice system.
She's a interesting mistress. I feel like there hasn't been any good serial killers in a while.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing. We'll take that. That's fine.
Well, no, that's not a good thing.
Because everybody keeps everybody and their mom keeps publicizing all of these serial killer things, and people are just getting fucking better at it. Like you put out all this stuff about serial killers, and everybody constantly talks about them. So they know everything that
there was just a serial killer in
Japan,
if I remember correctly. There was a serial killer in Japan. Can't remember though.
Recently?
Yeah, Japanese.
That's a scary thought. We haven't caught a serial killer in a while. It means, like Dan, we're making hyper.
You're just making
serial
better
killers.
serial killers because of all the entire proliferation of the entire true crime series. Like we're just making you're making instruction booklets on how to kill people,
how to circumvent law enforcement.
You can
exactly law enforcement's looking.
I think there's a serial killer in Japan in 2020. If I'm looking correctly, yeah.
And I'm not talking like people.
9.
Some people are going to be like, oh, any serial killers, anyone over 3, but it's like, I think it's yes, that is true over 3, but it's like, I also don't. There's a different like a mass shooter and stuff in a serial killer. Yes, they're the same thing, but it's like these like serial killers that like hunt and like continue to kill over years and years and years are the most terrifying ones. Yeah, me too.
I mean, how many shows like in proportion, like primetime shows are all like procedurals, the like police procedurals. Like everything is just like a constant
like First
barrage.
48 and shit, you mean?
Everything, true crime series, everything is just about how police approach these types of killings and these kinds of things. So if you wanted to be a serial killer, all you would have to do is listen to these couple things and be like, well, I won't make that mistake.
Ah, come on. These guys watching A&E, they're not going to be fucking professional killers. They're still going to get caught. They're going to fuck up, man. Oh, just watch fucking CSI. I know exactly
that's what
to
you
do.
think, or that's what you
I'm going to be a serial killer because I have chimera blood and they're never going to catch me.
Possible.
A lot of Dexters out there.
Yeah.
Who knows? Scary, man.
I'm going to kill this guy with an icicle. They'll never catch me. Ever.
The old icicle
That's
trick.
if you
It's the
wanted
oldest
to
trick in the
murder
book.
somebody. But if you're a serial killer and you had the psychological compulsion
Hey, Dan,
to kill.
we're in Canada. There's tons of icicles, bud.
No,
Yeah,
I'm saying if
them.
you wanted to murder somebody and get away with it, yes, one time, yes, an icicle would be a good idea.
All you gotta
But
do
if
is
you-
work in fucking
you better
healthcare.
watch yourself,
I know how
because
to
we're
do
almost-
that.
I'm
we're
talking
almost
about
in
serial
icicle
killers who
season,
have
bud.
who have the psychological compulsion to kill, or then even beyond that, to do something with the bodies or something. They have some type of weird tick or whatever, like the Casey's, whatever, making furniture from people's fucking skin.
I don't even like killing bugs
these
and trying to
things.
catch them. Like I remember that big ass spider I found in my garage. It's still here.
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
was
kill
terrifying.
him. I didn't kill him. I left him.
He's still in the top
Yeah, I didn't
there?
leave him. I felt bad. I didn't want to murder him.
Serial
I
killers
would have
having a
vacuumed him.
about that.
I would have vacuumed him up.
No,
for
I
sure.
kept him. Well, he's my homie because I'm hoping that was it. Like I talked to him. We had a conversation. We're going to be boys. He's going to kill all the other bugs. I'm not going to kill him. He's not going to
Come
crawl
to
on
an
me or anything.
agreement.
If he makes one wrong move and
Dead.
that one wrong move is a move at all, how
Dead.
fast is he dead?
Dude, it's super dead. But we talked about it. I said, bro, just don't fucking move, man.
Just stay right there. Don't even turn around. I never you better. Well, you know what's going to be the worst when you go in there one day and you look up in that corner.
No,
and
he's gone.
Not there.
No, he's gone. He is already. So day one, whatever, I saw him day one. Day two, he moved a little bit to the left. Like just not a lot, a little bit to the left. Day three, gone.
Fuck, dude. I would be checking under that chair.
My kid,
under the desk.
My kid's like fucking, he's like, let's throw stuff at him. Let's throw stuff at him. I'm like, no, stop. Like, don't make him mad.
Yeah.
This is Aragorn.
Like, I'm
He's
the
our
one
buddy.
who's going to have to
I don't
fight him.
Fuck with him. Oh, my kid probably fucking walk up and step on him. I don't even think twice. He's a bug murderer. I'm trying to talk to him because I don't like killing bugs. I try to catch him, put him outside. He loves killing them. He'll kill a whole fucking ant hill.
So there's an article from discovermagazine.com about what explains the decline of serial killers. And there's a couple different theories about
What are the
why.
sources?
So I just said it, the
Is it Google
discovermagazine.com. Like, fuck you. Like
Fake
like-
news, buddy. Fake news.
So one of the theories, I'm saying these are theories. I'm not saying that they're facts, but it could be possibly one of them is the adapting of justice. One popular theory points out the growth of forensic science and especially the advent of genetic approaches to tracking offenders.
Whoa, wait a sec. But these guys are watching CSI. We just talked about that, Dan. You said they're making fucking super killers.
But then they're being, so I'm saying that they're being a little bit more careful. I'm saying this is the decline in serial killers that are caught. I'm not saying this is decline in serial killers.
No, the problem is, hey, listen, you want to know why? I'll tell your whole article. It's wrong. You want to know why? Inflation. Nobody's got time to kill anybody. They got to work and pay fucking bills. Nobody can afford to do it anymore.
What's that new? There's that new forensic technique too, where it's like, is it contact?
It's where they show a
forensic
black
where it's
light
like-
and they can see all their blood and cum everywhere.
So
there's that one too, but there's one where it's like even if you were in the vicinity, they might be able to find trace DNA. But it's like I remember I was listening to a true crime documentary or something. They're just like it's not widely accepted yet.
So here's an interesting one. One of them, the second one says is that technically right now that we are living in a safer society, that would-be murderers may also have succumbed to the absence of easy targets, that you have the things like helicopter parenting, keeping kids like, in close, you're not taking your eye off them with that. You've got
fucking terrifying.
I'm saying, but we keep a lot closer eye on your kids. You don't let them out of your sight for anything. And you do have things like we have CCTV everywhere. We have all these things. Now we've gotten better.
Dude,
it's saying that society, they're saying that society has gotten better at detecting and reforming potential serial killers, especially in their youth. So you have early catalysts for serial murder, things like family dysfunction, sexual abuse can be remedied with quality time with child psychologists. Like we're getting better. Not that we're perfect at it, but saying that we're getting.
We see their social media and we're like, this kid's fucked. We need to lock him up.
There's a section here that's a little bit that's interesting. I guess this is added by, who is this? This is James Allen Fox, criminology professor at Northeastern University, talking about how perhaps even pornography plays a part in this, and it may quench the sexual impulses that often precede sexualized killings. It's possible that the sewer that is much of the internet is providing non-violent outlet for these killers.
I'll tell you, I've had hold on, let me, I've always had...
Did you just second thought the creepy shit you're going to talk about? Because I hope so.
No.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, I've always told Andrew, I've always wondered, all these fucking crazy guys, how many of them are circumcised?
Dude, we've talked about this. We've had this discussion. That's what I'm saying. Like, I literally think that way. Dude, we've had that. We've had that conversation because it's like these weirdos need to do weird things to get off because they're circumcised. That being said, I'm circumcised and I do not have any compulsions to fucking kill anybody or do anything that weird.
So you say.
Well, for now.
But the rates are dropping since 1989.
Well, dude, I got in a fight with...
Maybe it's that.
Dude, I got in a fight with my mother-in-law about it. Literally got in an argument with her. First argument she had been like, well, yeah, like your kid's going to be... Like, Niall's going to be superstar. I'm like, why? Why am I going to perform genital mutilation on my fucking child? That makes no sense. It's fucking 2019. He can clean his fucking penis. Like there's ways around this. He
clean the ween, man. It's not that hard.
It's not rocket appliances. Like we don't need it. That's not a thing. Not to bash your religion. If it's part of your religion to do that, great, do your thing. But
or if you're already who cares? Some people get like phimosis and weird shit when they're older and they have to get circumcised. Fucking nothing wrong with that. But I know a couple guys who've had to, and they go,
that was good.
It sucks. It sucks.
No, I can, dude, it's like not, and this isn't a brag because it sucks. I have sex for hours. 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 Because my shit's fucking, like, it's not sensitive anymore. It's not. Like, it's got to be like, you got to be talking some shit. And okay.
And that's why he wants to kill people.
Not at all. I'm way too much pussy for that. I don't even kill bugs. I'm a puss.
So, next theory is about, it says hidden killers.
Just in your way,
I have this nasty habit about staying on topic. About,
apparently.
I want to finish the topic and want to discuss it. But if we're done, are we done with after hours? Like, can I go to bed?
No. That was a perfect. It was just a, that was just a perfect bring back. It's so funny.
Yeah.
What's the next theory?
So there's one about hidden killers and about talking about how serial murder is actually rare, and then it comprises less than 1% of all homicides, according to the FBI's estimate. So with the annual homicide rate of hovering around 15,000 people in the U.S., that's the annual, every year, 15,000 people dying to homicide. That equates to less than 150 serial murders a year, which is perpetrated by perhaps maybe 25 to 50 people. So considering the limitations of forensic science, many believe that this is actually an undercount. And so that with this, like, with the limitations of the justice system, like we were talking about before, that police perhaps make a clear case against a person accused of murder, and about 60% of all homicides that they make a clear case. So with 5,000, other 5,000 end without closure. So in other words, murders have a 40% chance of getting away with murder. So the question is, how many of those unsolved cases are the work of a serial killer? And so it's just saying we're not sure. Like we're not sure.
Yeah.
So you can't really even the human brain struggles with when confronted with a data set without a pattern or intentionally or not. So many killers vary their tactics. Like we said before, like maybe we're making better killers. They just vary their tactics. They target people from different races, different genders, different locations. No way to draw comparisons between those unconnected cases, and that computers and even humans like can't link them.
Yeah. The thing is though, that I think that some people like, there are killers that have MO, and I think it's just that they're drawn to those types of targets, right? Like that's, you have patterns in certain killers, and that's for whatever reasons, psychological, whatever. So it's like, I think the type of killer where you're talking about there that are mixing it up are like fucking would be super rare, right? Where they're just like, so cold and calculated that there's no MO. They're just like, I don't care. I will mix it up every time.
That's very rare though. Like guys with zero like fucking motive and shit like that. Like how many of serial killers actually have that? I was trying to remember. I remember hearing the name recently, but like serial killers that hunt at random, that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah. It's crazy. Just walking around playing the worst lottery of all time every day. That's why I never leave the house.
The last one is saying that perhaps like we've actually just we've sensationalized them to such a point in modern culture that even though that we're talking about serial killers at a prodigious rate at this point, you have so much information about this killer. You're still talking about serial killers who were active like decades ago.
Yeah.
That you're still talking about serial killers that were operating in like the 70s and the 80s and stuff like that, as opposed to today. So now that we have today, like serial killers are probably still, definitely probably still operating, still out there, but just less common perhaps, that even that we have all of these things that are, it could be that part about the internet that they're hopefully, one thing about the sewer that they're
probably looking at some weird shit, man.
They can watch their snuff films. They can find all that weird shit on the internet, and maybe they're finding an outlet that they didn't have before, and that it's not getting to it's not reaching such a point that they feel like they have to actually physically act these desires out, that maybe that's enough. It's an interesting facet of human culture that is something that will probably be explored for a long time and until we get pre-crime, and then we're all fucked, and then whatever.
Oh yeah.
Or we'll have a better society. Who knows?
I'm all for pre-crime.
Me too. Sign me up.
Yeah. I just know, because here's my thing. I get that they're absolving the choice, right? Like you could choose not to, but I'm saying that there's no avenue where I would choose to.
No, they're like, dude, that's the biggest thing that always confuses me. It's like, how did you even have those thoughts? I don't understand. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I don't like. Those thoughts don't cross normal people's minds. They don't.
Yeah.
They just don't.
I'm going to say that.
But I would say, have you ever been sexually abused or physically abused like while you were a child? Like,
yeah, I understand that, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Unfortunately, that's shitty. Well, listen, that sucks. But there's nothing you can do about it. They're still going to do what they're compelled to do.
Pre-crime's making everyone safer at the end of the day.
100%. I'm sorry. Right? You got to break the fucking, like that unfortunate, that situation just perpetuates more of it. We got to stop it. So unfortunately, we got to stop it.
If you had pre-crime, then you would avoid those things, because if somebody was thinking about abusing somebody else, then you would arrest them.
Boom.
Get rid of it.
Boom.
Gone.
Choppers coming through the windows.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, I'm just sitting here. You're like, in 2 weeks.
Good.
In 2 weeks, you might do this.
Until we get our triumvirate of precogs. Keep your kids close, I guess.
Let's not talk about kids.
Yeah.
Keep me up at night.
All right. Let's wrap up this after hours. We kind of went all over the place.
Little ADD after hours for you.
Little ADD after hours. All right, everyone. Peace. We love you. We'll be back next week with another Spooktober episode. Peace, everybody.